and welcome to Watkins Woodwork. I'm Matt, your host, owner, proprietor, chief floor sweeper, whatever you may want to call it, of Watkins Woodwork and WatkinsGallery.com. Today, on our very first webisode, video, whatever you may want to call it, is going to be a review of GROZ planes. What I've got here in front of me is a number 4 smoother, a number 5 jack, and a number 7 jointer. I haven't done anything to these other than removed them from the box, removed the packing, rust preventative, schmutz, whatever you want to call it, off of here, so there's nothing, no preconceived notion of what I'm looking at, no opinion, no nothing. So let's find out what they look like together here. Let's take a look at the number 4. As I pulled it out of the packaging, there was a number of things that I did notice. The cap and blade itself and chip breaker clearly didn't receive any love at the factory, other than to, I'm sure, repeatedly drop them on the floor, toss them in the bin with the rest of the 1,000 that are being produced, whatever it may be, because they've definitely seen better days. Especially the blade, as we pull this out, has definitely in this corner received a easily heavy drop onto itself, which is going to require probably grinding out the first 1/8 inch or so of this blade and then re-grinding the bevel onto it to get it into an operational state. So not a very good out of the box on this one. At this point, I should say. Like I said, the cap, it's chipped. The chrome plating is coming off in some of these places. The paintwork is abysmal at best. But what do I expect? And why do I say what do I expect? That's because this number 4 I picked up for 15 bucks. Brand new, clearance from Woodcraft. I couldn't say no. What am I supposed to say? 15 bucks is 15 bucks, and if it's a junk piece, I'm not out anything. Same thing for the number 5. I think it was 16 bucks, and the jointer is what I was really looking for, and I'm hoping is going to be a good addition to the shop. I'm hoping it's going to work out wonderfully. It was about 4. As I was cleaning it off, my initial thoughts on it were actually pretty good. The mill marks on the sole and sides, I honestly expected to be immensely worse than what they are. I've read several reviews online, all the way from professionals down to the hobbyist woodworker. I hate to say it, but I think there's some bias out there. The professionals, just about every professional opinion that I've come across hates it. Absolutely hates these set of planes, and you know, and they're right. You know, they're out there using the Lee Nelsons and the Veritas. Understandable. For a guy like me that this might be the very first set, might be the very first plane I purchased, I'm not going to know any different other than the mechanical issues that I've already pointed out. Some lapping. Once I get into lapping this on some probably 100 grit, 80 grit sandpaper and move it up to maybe a 240, I don't think it's going to matter. It's very minimal, and especially compared to if for those of you that have read through my blog, have seen that I've just recently restored a couple of Stanley block planes. A newer one that I actually received as a gift was far worse than either of these 3 planes in the mill marks. That was, I honestly thought, was going to the trash just because it was so bad. These aren't anywhere near that. It isn't anything that I don't think a hobbyist, especially a more advanced woodworker, wouldn't be able to work out for themselves. So, the number 4, the other issue that I've noticed on the smoother here, is the tote is not securely mounted to the bed of the plane. Looking on the others, I don't know if this is the same for all of the planes. I don't know if it's just this one model. I don't know. But the bottom of the tote here definitely rocks back and forth, or rocks up away from the plane bed, maybe 5-10 degrees. Definitely enough that there's going to cause some fatigue either in the brass mounting screw or the post down in the heel itself. Something's going to give way after. Number 5 is about the same. The mill marks maybe are a little bit heavier towards the toe and the heel. Not too bad. The chip breaker was definitely in better condition than the number 4, the smoother. The blade is absolutely in better condition, especially because it's not going to require the amount of time and effort to grind it down to a razor sharp edge as the other is going to take. So, not the end of the world. Should produce, I'm thinking, a fairly decent plane. And the battleship of the group is definitely got some heft. It's probably, I would say, a good maybe 10 pounds. Maybe not that. Maybe 6 to 8 pounds, somewhere in there. So it's definitely going to require some sweat to get this baby moving and keep it moving. So overall, the mill marking about the same as the others, maybe a little bit deeper than what the smoother has got, but not the end of the world, and not something that I don't think we'll be able to come out or pull out. Especially not the end of the world because it is essentially the first line of defense in your woodworking. So a lot more steps after this once you get your piece square and flat. So mill mark on this one may not be that big of an issue, more than aesthetic of anything. So there we go. So initial impressions of the 3 pieces. Definitely the bigger the piece looks like, the better the workmanship. I got a feeling that's just because of the amount of material that they have to work with. They had to work with the heft of the piece. It just seems to be a better fit and finish. The number 7, or I should say the number 5 jack plane, you know, not bad. Overall, I think it's definitely going to be something that you could use on a day-to-day basis once we upgrade the blade and the chipper without any problem. The smoother, which I actually was kind of hoping would be a little bit better than what it is looking to be like the dog of the group. It's going to take a little more work, a little more effort than what I really wanted to give it, but you know, honestly, at this point, I think it's probably worth the time and the effort just to see what kind of shaving this is ultimately going to produce at the end. So,